mentioned the Road Warriors earlier. Talking about some of your early memories with them, because you wrestled them in the beginning, at the height of their career.
Oh, God almighty.
And singles.
Well, most of all the matches I had with them, I like the part where I take a bump, and then I leave, and the guy that I'm winning gets the crap beat out of him. That was my kind of match. Yeah, I didn't have to. My Joe Laurinaitis was, this tough. Mike was a nice guy, but he had a fuse about that long. And if you lit it, you was in trouble, brother. I don't know if y'all remember when it's called locker room. You put in a little glass, 6-ounce glass of water, and you put like 4 scoops into 6 ounces of water, and then you shotgun it, and it was a drug. It was some kind of, come out like it was like an energy drink. Mm-hmm. Well, it was energy, all right. I seen Mike come in the dressing room, sit down in the dressing room. He was put 4 scoops into 6 ounces of water. Well, he had about 4 ounces of water. He put about 9 scoops. Boom, 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 boom. That stuff was thick as molasses syrup. And he stirred it up. And he sat down. And he's sitting there like this. And you see these veins right here. They start boom, 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 like that. And then he looks at there, he said, Bart. I said, what, Mike? What? I'm gonna go kill Vince McMahon. He took off out of there, brother. We don't know where he went, but oh man. Yeah, do I remember the Road Warriors? Oh man. They were, God almighty. I'm sorry guys, but nobody wanted to work with y'all. More especially in the beginning, because y'all stiff. And they were so nice guys, but they didn't come from a nice group. That group up there, they were Minnesota. From out of Minnesota, they were the guys that went and broke your bones if you didn't pay, or if you owed somebody some money, they went and collected, or they brought an arm back with them, or 2 or 3 fingers. That was what they business they were in. Now I don't know for sure if that's what they done, but I'm sure they was into some kind of collection part of it. I'm sure. I think about when we first wrestled them, me and Bass first wrestled them, they were in cut off blue jeans and combat boots, and they wore these funky looking shirts to the ring. They took that was their ring jackets. They took them off. Teach them, and we tried, but they wouldn't do. Them boys, they were dead set, and by the time they damn near killed me and Bass, they took them and they sent them off somewhere. Got Rick Rude out of that same year. Later in that year, we got Rick Rude. But the Road Warriors were the hardest 2 guys to teach anything that I've ever met in my life, and they would not. It wouldn't take. You could do it, and 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 it wouldn't take. When they went out, they took them off. They took them away from us, and me and Bass said, "Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord." Whew.
What was training like as far as training?
It was brutal. We had mats that we took bumps on that we had to stuff the padding back in. We wrestled in a boxing ring that was the equivalent of any boxing ring, which is railroad ties with a piece of plywood and some canvas over it. So it was really a school of hard knocks. Eddie Shark, he was a good person. He knew good talent, but he didn't know how to teach us. He didn't teach us anything about kayfabe, carny, swerve, and curve, or any of that stuff. He just knew that we were going to make it because we had the rod talent, although he didn't teach us too many mechanics.
I guess at the time, we were getting swerved a little bit, but never even knew it because we were getting worked. Ed was working us right off the bat because Ed said, "Yeah, I'll get in a ring with you and I'll show you." Because Eddie wrestled Harley Race in a couple world championship matches. He said, "Wow, Ed Sharkey," and his wife was a good wrestler too, female wrestler, And so we said, "Oh, great! Eddie's going to teach me to get in the ring." By the time it got, he would see us goof up and punch each other in the nose and start bleeding like that. Ed'd go, "Oh God, I just got a hernia. I can't get in the ring today." That happened every day. He had something. He would never get in the ring with us. He was just scared shitless. Ed was about 5'6" and about 170 soaking wet, So he wasn't going to jump in the ring with us. But like Hawk said, though, that ring was brutal. Yeah. You picture, it's about 5 feet wider than this hotel room here, and it was like taking bumps on the cement.
We wouldn't work in a ring like this.
Oh no! You walk in a ring like that nowadays, you'd say turn around and out the door. You wouldn't even do it.
Right.
Leave, it was horrible.
Who are some of the other guys that are stars right now that run the camp?
Well, the first original four were me, Joe, Ravishing Rick Rude, who went rest his soul, and Barry Darsow used to be Demolition and Repo.
Smash Demolition. Barry Darsow was the other guy in there. And then later on, Scott Norton went through it.
Scotty Norton went through it. Zink went through it.
Z-Man, yeah.
Nord went through it. The Barbarian, John Nord. Wayne Bloom, Mike Enos.
Yeah.
So there's been a numerous bunch of guys that came out of Minnesota. We started out World Championship Wrestling on June 6, 1983.
Okay. Well, that'd be Georgia. Right?
Georgia Championship Wrestling. That was Gordon Soley. Ole Anderson.
Ole Anderson. Then shortly after that, the NWA and the Georgia Championship meshed together. Our first time together, Joe was the original Road Warrior. Our first time together on national television, Georgia Championship. I had worked 3 matches under El Tomco. I had thrown up after every match because of nerves. So now they get us on national television. We got the belts. And Ole says to us, Ole Anderson says, "Listen, just go out and kick the shit out of these guys." He says, "Because you don't know how to work." He says, "And if they've got a problem with it, they can go get a job somewhere else." So we literally did beat the shit out of them. And of course, at the end, we were gentlemen enough to say we were sorry, unless we didn't like them.
Yeah, and a lot of it, to be honest with you, at least for me, the first 3-4 months, I actually thought, well, this is the way the business is. Guys are going to be hitting us hard back.
Yeah.
That's why we got to ring with Ronnie Garvin. He nailed you.
Right.
We go, wow, this is pretty
liked
cool.
it that way.
It was pretty cool. That's one way we wanted it. We that's all we did was bounce and, football and everything else.
So super stiff.
Yeah, we didn't mind it. We go to Japan, it was super stiff, and so we didn't really know any different.
They look good. They put on a good show. Mm-hmm. And they did think they were the biggest and baddest. And, Hawk and Animal, they was always super nice to guys, you never think. When you're with these guys, they got a performance to put on out there.
Right.
And people outside see this. You don't see them back there in the dressing room. Right. You don't see them at home with their family or whatever, And they have to put on a show. And when they put on a show that's so good that people believe they're the biggest and baddest to ever come in, they're doing a good job. Mm-hmm. And they're nice guys. They're just regular guys, nice guys. But yes, they got to go out and perform. And, come on, look at some of the stars you see on TV, like Bruce Willis. Come on, give me a break. Tom Cruise. Yeah, right. Sylvester Stallone. Okay, Rocky. And people believe this because these guys couldn't tie my boots. They probably couldn't reach my chin to hit me. They're so short. They're so small.
Me and Sid were working with the Road Warriors all the time. It seems like I get with somebody and they just marry us, but I was married to Road Warriors there for a while. The Skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And here you got guys that are making $2,000 a night, Hawk and Animal. Mm-hmm. And then their manager's making like $1,500 a night or $1,250. I'm making, and Sid's making probably $750 or $1,000 a night, and here I am making $138 a night or $250 or something, and I'm calling the match for all these guys. I'm directing the Road Warriors because the heels always direct the match. The way I was taught, I don't know if they still do that, but that's the way I was taught. Yeah. That's the way we always did it. And Adam directs Sid. Sid was young. Sid became a lot better, but he was young. And Jim Hurd's going to give Sid $250,000 or $300,000 and pay me $125,000. That's the reason I left.
Wow.
But I stayed there. I was given a deal where I make $138,000 a year, and I was allowed to go to Japan so many times a year. Well, Japan wanted me when wanted me. They didn't want to hear no excuses. You know, well, I got to do this
Yeah.
for WCW. So I had to choose. And then the Road Warriors, still working with them. I mean, Sid got hurt, punctured his lung. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. You know, working against Steiners in New York somewhere. Mark came along.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Mark, I knew Mark had potential. And it's like I was breaking all these guys in. Everybody I worked with or tagged with became a Scott Hall became a big star. Sid became a big star. Undertaker became a big star.
You're like the good luck charm. They all made a lot of money.
That was good, you know. That was good for them.
I think Tully and Owen left when they found out how much Paul Ellering was making.
That's one of the reasons I left.
Yeah.
Went back to Japan, you know, for another run.
Yeah.
It just didn't set well with me. Me making, you know, a little bit of money, it was all about money, but
Sure.
you know, I just couldn't see the Road Warriors. I mean, we had a time when we did a pay-per-view in Corpus Christi, Texas. It was me and Mark Calloway against the Road Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And we were already putting those guys over.
Yeah.
I mean, the Skyscrapers, whether it was me and Mark or me and Sid, it was over. And you know, everybody gets us confused with the Twin Towers that New York had. You know, oh, you guys are the Twin Towers, or oh, no, it's Skyscraper. You know, and but they never did anything with it. Halloween Havoc would have been a great time when we had that in Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
Halloween Havoc. We had that. The Vampire Mistress, you know, like she did some promos with us. That Vampire Woman. You know,
I remember. I don't remember who
she
you
had
wrestled.
long black hair. She was a TV star or whatever.
Elvira?
Yeah,
Was it
Elvira,
Okay.
yeah.
I just remember you guys were super over at the Havoc show.
And we never beat anybody. Didn't beat the Steiners. Didn't beat the Road Warriors. And didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what was aggravating. They promised you. Ric Flair was involved in it. You know. That's why, you know, the Skyscrapers had a chance to be one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And then you got the Road Warriors with their politician bullshit, you know, and the Steiner brothers, you know, which, you know, we could have really done something, you know, but we never beat anybody. You know? So then, plus they never did anything. And you got Jim Ross over there, you know, this drugstore cowboy, you know, clothes salesman, and he was on the booking committee, you know. What a joke.
Yeah.
But I think that Jim Hurd missed the boat, you know, by the way they treated me and the way they treated the Skyscrapers. Well, it was a great idea. They came up with it. It wasn't my idea, but what a great name and what a great concept. I mean, you know, they were talking me into coming, you know, quit working in Japan and to come to WC. I mean, I was talked out of Japan.
Yeah.
And all these promises, I mean, Kevin Sullivan was part of that committee. It was Kevin that was doing the negotiate with him. Well, we got this big guy, you know, he's really, you know, got a lot of potential, talking about Sid. And then after Sid got hurt, you know, I was getting ready to go back to Japan, and here comes Kevin again, you know. Well, we got this other young guy, you know, talking about Mark, you know, a lot of potential, and we were going to push the Skyscraper, you know, please stay, don't go back to Japan. Okay, I'll give it a shot. And they buried Mark in Corpus Christi. I mean, you know, Mark did the job for him, but, you know, and those guys pissed me off so bad. I got the chair and I wore them out with it.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, I was brutal. Mark, we were going to walk him back to the dressing room. Man, you really beat the shit. I mean, the chair was all just I had two legs in my hand, and the chair was a slap war. You know, those guys, you know, we're going to have to fight those guys. Whatever. I said, don't worry about it. They come busting through the door. Oh, great match, Dan, great match, you know.
Was this the Steiners?
No, that was the Road Warriors.
Oh, okay.
Around that time, 84. Well, I went in, when I came back in and Vince's dad had passed away and stuff, and it was the late part of 84. And I had a meeting with Vince Jr., and he said, well, I want you to stay forever. You don't have to leave anymore. You got a home here forever. I remember him saying that, forever. Your family. shouldn't have called me family, you know. That's a dead giveaway. But he says, you know, we're going nationwide. I'm going to take over the whole world. He says, we're going to be the World Wrestling Federation for real. We're going to go the whole shot, everything. I'm buying TV time everywhere. I want you to be a part of it. And I remember he asked me, could you help me get the Road Warriors? I said, I don't know the Road Warriors. He said, that's one part of the picture I'd like to put in there. You know, he really wanted those guys, so that's how he created Demolition, because he couldn't get the Warriors
Right.
at that time.
That was a long time after that.
Yeah. But, so yeah, that's when I realized he was, you know, he told me he's going for the big deal. He's going for everything.
Did you ever get any, I guess, wind from other guys in other locker rooms that, you know, Hawk and Animal were pissed that you were kind of doing their gimmick, even though you guys say, you know, it wasn't their gimmick and it was.
I really wouldn't have cared if they were.
Yeah. It was
Like,
just,
what were they going to do? Come
Right.
and fight us?
well, when they did come in, was it easy to work with them? Did you ever give you any problems and say
No.
everything was all business?
Barry has a much better relationship with him because he knew him for a long time and grew up with him. I got along remarkably well with Hawk. I liked Hawk. My relationship with Joe was a little distant because we weren't as good as friends as Hawk and I. I mean, I knew Hawk when he came in, and Stan Hansen and I worked against the Road Warriors. We worked with those guys a number of times when they were green. And he was always eager. He was the one of the two that I looked at as the leader of the team. Now, it might not have been that way. I don't know what their negotiations were. But he was a much better interviewer. He was a much better athlete, I think. He was a much better performer. Not taking anything from Joe, but I looked at that team, and when my conversations with those guys, he and I just hit it off a lot better. But there again, I never heard them. They may have expressed to somebody else that we're trying to copy them, but they never came to our face and said it.
You know, I think out of all the tag teams to work with, though, they were probably the hardest team to work with. You know,
I agree.
because they wanted to be so strong, and you know, we
We
didn't.
were
really,
as bigger than
we were
them.
bigger than they were, and
Right.
it's kind of hard to put them over as being stronger than you when, you know, the appearance wise. So we kind of wanted to work like we do with everybody else, and then sometimes it would clash.
Well,
you know,
I think of the two, there again, Hawk was a better worker of the two. If we wanted to do moves and counter moves, and he wasn't as smooth as the other teams were, but he was more adept than Joe was. If Andre the Giant can sell, anybody can sell.
Yeah.
If Andre the Giant can sell and make people cheer for him, and come on, anybody can. This business, you're supposed to work. And like Barry said, I think they wanted to outstrong everybody. And when they were against us, we were bigger and bigger than them. Our gimmicks were similar. Let's have a match.
Yeah.
Match. I was asked this later. The matches we had with the Road Warriors, I thought stunk.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything.
Conflict.
It wasn't a conflict of personalities. It was just they stunk.
Right.
and some teams just can't. It doesn't work. You know. You know, and I just speaking of Andre selling, I just saw on the internet you and I against Baba and Andre and Toku. Did you ever see that one on the internet?
I've seen it years ago. Yeah.
Andre, unbelievable how he sold.
Yeah.
Holy cow, does he sell?
Yeah.
And he is the biggest guy in wrestling. If he can sell, anybody should be able to sell.
I worked with him many times, especially as Mass Superstar, against him and with him. And I'd have him in a Cobra hold, and he looks like he's going out, and people are screaming for him to get out of it. They forgot that he was 7 foot tall. They just involved in the match. And you see it not only those guys, you see it all the time. Just because you're pumped up on the weights doesn't mean you're invincible, for God's sakes. Somebody hits you in the throat, somebody gouges your eyes, you better register.
What was it like wrestling the Road Warriors? Do you think that they could match up strength with you and your brother in the ring?
No. And next question.
That was pretty easy. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. The Road Warriors, me and my brother were millennium. We were a millennium team. We took size, speed, and agility to a new height. That was Harlem Heat. The Road Warriors, okay, they can get in a gym and bench press 500 pounds, but so could I. And you have a guy that may have been probably the most prolific athlete to ever step in the square circle, Booker T, who not only was a strong guy, a man that could wrap circles around most opponents in the ring, mentally and physically. And when you put all that together, you know what you got? You got the best tag team that ever stepped in the middle of the square circle, bar none.
So would you say that Harlem Heat was better than Stars and Stripes?
I would say Harlem Heat was better than any tag team that anyone out there can conjure up and spit out of their mouth. That's what I'm saying.
You had matches with the Road Warriors?
Yeah. Hawk and me had a great relationship. Animal tried it one time and found out I wasn't going to play. When he hurt me that one time, don't do it again. And Hawk told him, don't mess with a little Mexican. Hawk and me were party dogs. We went out, had fun, we stayed out all night drinking. I mean, Hawk was great guy, great individual. Joe, I saw Joe a couple years ago, Animal, at he come up and choked me. I teased him. Of course, me being me. Hey, you think your kid's going to the first round? Not likely.
What exactly went down with you guys and Hawk and Animal in AWA with the tag team titles? Animal talked about it. I think you briefly talked about it in our interview.
We were in the ring in Minneapolis. We'd already gone around the entire horn, putting them over. Well, now Vern wanted them to put us over in their fake, their working hometown was Chicago, but their real hometown was Minneapolis. They had all their friends and family there, all their gym buddies, and the bar was at the bar called Grandma B's, where they all were bouncers, and so they didn't want to get beat. Because all their friends were there. So,
plus, two guys look like us.
Yeah, I mean, we're like,
we didn't look
half
like
their size. So,
right.
I mean, in a street fight, of course, they'd have kicked our ass. But
sure.
But this isn't street fighting. We're trying to make money,
Yeah.
So you got to do what the promoter tells you to do. Well, they weren't going to do it, so they didn't tell Vern that though. They waited until they got in the ring. So the referee is giving instructions, and pull the hair and all stuff. So I'm standing there. Well, Steve he liked to chew gum, and he's like looking around. He's ready to go. So he's not really listening to this. But I'm standing there, and Animal and Hawk, and so Hawk kind of leans in and goes, "We're not going for the finish." I went, "Huh?" And he went, "Do things our way, nobody gets hurt." Well, Steve just heard the last part of that. He went, "Huh?" And Hawk thought he meant like, "Oh yeah, like you think so?" So when he heard that, I mean, he just attacked him, and I'm like, and so Joe is kind of like, well, you're not going to go at it too, and so we kind of like, no, let's just work. So he and I kind of tied up, but Hawk is just going off. So I'll let you take over from there because you were in it.
Well, I've been in the business quite a while, and I've learned to deal with a lot of scenarios, but I'd never had anybody in my whole career up to this point say they weren't going to do the finish in the ring, not in the dressing room. I mean, confront the booker, confront the guy that owns the territory, confront the guy that's telling you that you're going to get beat. But he confronted us. And like Stan said, I wasn't paying attention because I was in my zone. And when I said, Hawk, and he hits me with two hands in the chest so hard that I flew and never touched the ground till my feet hit the rope, and I kind of stumbled forward and double leg dived him. Well, that was a big mistake. And then he beat me half to death for, I don't know, maybe seemed like an eternity, but the only moves they knew at that time were clothesline or press slam. And I must have taken about 5 or 6 press slams. And finally, when he press slammed me one time, he was really slamming me hard too. He wasn't just pressing slamming me. He was drilling me into the mat. Yeah. And so one time, the last time when I just gotten to the point where that's it, I've had it. I'm out of here. He slammed me. I popped right back up to my feet and I tagged Stan. Well, when I tagged Stan come in and started to try to make a comeback. This is the easiest guy in the world to get along with. I might be a different story, but now he just grounded him, and just like there's your bully. And he was just bullying him. So sometimes you got to let your mind take over and not try to be the aggressor physically, but outsmart people.
Can you say steel chair?
Yeah. I went and got a chair, come rolling back in, and I shot with that chair.
With the edge of it.
Yeah, and I was whacking him. So I started whacking him with the chair. Paul Ellering was their manager. He's on the floor, and he sees this is not a work.
Animal bailed out, and he's going,
Joe took off. Well, Animal, Hawk, Mike, he wasn't going to take it. He was going to fight me over it, but I was unloading on him, and I wasn't giving him no room to fight back because I knew if he got that chair away from me, I'm dead. Anyway, He rolled out onto the floor. They disqualified us. Boom, those guys won. But we were over unreal just because it showed that we had balls. We didn't just back away from them or whatever, or just like unloaded on them. We didn't care about getting disqualified or whatever. And then that's where I said that it paid off, because when we went back to the dressing room, here comes Vern. Vern comes in cussing us first. You know, about what the hell is that? What are you guys doing? You ruined this whole show. And hey, you need to go talk to those guys. And we told them, said, hey, they said, we're not going to do the finish. So he didn't really have control over them. He had already lost control, and he lost control earlier with Hulk Hogan. When he front face locked him, when Hogan front face locked him and almost put Vern out a year earlier than that, Vern went from being that tyrant to being whooped. And when he went to go confront the Road Warriors, he didn't come back right away. Then we went to a battle royal. And I told Stan, I don't know if I want to go out to this battle royal. I'm dead. And guys like Billy Robinson, Kurt Henning's dad, Larry the Axe Henning,
Who was that Olympic shooter? Ragin.
Brad Ragin.
Yeah, he was in there too.
They were all, on our side all of a sudden, because that was bad business to do that to us, because they knew we were easy to get along with. So they all said, we'll take care of the Road Warriors. And it was like that movie, I can't remember, The Wanderers. When we hit the ring, I remember Animal and Mike roll into the ring, and Brad Ragin hooks Mike and starts riding him around, cross facing him, and big Larry the Axe Henning takes Joe down, and they're beating him up, and they're going, leave the Fabs alone, leave the Fabs alone. But it's like, leave the Wanderers alone. I was going, wow, what support we had.
Yeah, that was great.
And they were all shooters.
He
Every
rode
one of
him
them.
around like Seattle Slew.
Baron von Raschke, all of them were on them. And they were just trying, because those guys were from there. And it was kind of like a playoff of, you're representing us and you don't want to do business with these guys. So it kind of really put a black mark. I heard Joe tell a story and I heard him tell it different. I heard him tell a story about Puerto Rico and I heard him tell it different. But that's because when you got a story, you got two sides to it. Their side and our side. When we're in separate dressing rooms, that's the issue. We were in separate dressing rooms there, and we were in separate dressing rooms in Puerto Rico when it went down again. So we didn't talk one-on-one. It was somebody translating to us what's going to happen, somebody translating to them what's going to happen. Then when we go out there, it just went haywire. So
what happened in Puerto Rico?
What goes around comes around. And so we're down there at a huge show, an outside show. It's sold out, and that's a dangerous place. They throw rocks at you. And
Carlos?
Spark plug, yeah.
Victor,
And it was a hot night, and it was a huge card. I think it had like 15 matches, and we were scheduled to go on a little bit past midway. Well, everybody's getting their finishes except us. So we're kind of like looking, it's kind of weird. And so we asked the guy who's going back and forth, you got our finish? Nah, man, I'm just holding on. And like, oh, this doesn't sound good. Kept going on. We got moved up, and then again and again. So finally, he said, guys, I'm sorry. He said, they don't want to put you guys over. He said, they want to go over. They want their hand raised, and they want to beat you with their finish. So Steve, being the genius that he is, he said, you know what? We'll do it. We'll do everything they want. They'll get their hands raised and all that kind of stuff. He said, tell them, we just asked one thing of them, okay? For once, please sell for us good. And so he came back and said, they said that they'll sell hot comeback, and then boom, 1, 2, 3, you guys go down. So I'll probably take it from there.
No, I'm taking it from there because they're going, here, watch me bury myself, right? Okay. Well, at the thing the Bushwhackers were down there. They were running it. Luke and Butch, I think, were the ones. I'm pretty sure that was the two, right? They were running it, and Stan and I were supposed to come back off of this show to work against them for another show. So my mind thinks like this: if I'm being built to come back, why would you beat me to bring me back, a losers to come against them? So I said, well, there's always a way out of it. The way it was set up is that Stan would sell, he'd give me a tag, I'd come in, knock both Warriors down, boom, boom, boom. Here come the Bushwhackers through the crowd, come down to it was on the grass, Roberto Clemente baseball field, right there beside ring. Now Stan is going to see him. He drops down and just confronts him. I come to the ropes and hold on to the ropes and go, what's going on? And then when I turn around, boom, big clothesline, 1, 2, 3, or set him up and what that. So I'm thinking, I got to be a way to outsmart these guys. So I thought, okay. I said, Stan, most important thing is pack your bag and have it by the locker room door, because we ain't going to have time to be in this dressing room. We're going to catch a cab out of this place. So when the time was right, I don't think he realized what I was going to do, because he would have probably said, don't do that.
Yeah.
So at the time, I got the hot tag, boom, 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 start making
I've
a comeback.
never seen them sell. They were flip-flopping.
Oh, man, they were going. That was the best they'd ever done.
They were taking backdrops, and I was like, holy crap. Look, this is, so at the peak of that, when they're flip-flopping, getting the jack shit beat out of them, Keirn goes, now, and we bailed and took off. That
the bushwhackers come down there.
He said, don't look back.
Yeah, don't look back. So when we bailed out, the bushwhackers were on the floor, supposed to be taunting us, but we attacked them. And Luke and Butch are going, no, mate, no, mate, get back in the ring, mate. We fought them, and we fought them right through the crowd, all the way back to the dressing room.
And that's what saved us, because fighting them through the crowd had got in behind us and kept that buffer zone between us and the Warriors, who are now realizing they just got had, and they're pissed.
But they got their hand raised. That's what
right.
I said.
That's awesome.
Because we got counted out. But nobody's looking at the ring, and they're out there with the hand raised. And I could see smoke coming off of Hawk's head, man. He was just like, he wanted to kill me so bad now. I said, well, that was our last shot in Puerto Rico. We actually had 3 more shows, and we left. We left the territory. Hawk come and beat on my room that night, beating on my door. He wanted me to come out and want to fight me. And I'm going, I'm not going to go out there and get beat up. So I said, either get away from my door, or I'm going to call the security to come up after you. He says, I'll get you sooner or later.
Did you guys ever have any run-ins after that?
No, because this is what happened. He smartened up. He realized that we were right. Nobody really got hurt. I mean, I didn't hit him with a pole, knock him out or something like that would have caused a real heat revenge thing. I just did business-wise what needed to be done at the time to make the match for a return better. And he understood it later on. After he calmed down, and about 2 years later, we were back to talking again.
Besides yourselves, who are some other guys that you can credit your success to? Besides yourselves.
Well, again, we go back to Paul Ellering, without a doubt. Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen, guys that were, when we were very young, told us, you remind me of us when we started. They said, clobber everybody. I would say close to even though we're not that fond of them, Tully and Arn. Very fond of Arn. 4 Horsemen, they have a lot to do with what we did. We had some great matches. I don't know if anybody remembers, against Manny Fernandez and Ragin Rick Rude.
There's a guy that never got any credit. Rick. Rick made
he was
the
one of the
Ultimate
guys
Warrior.
that started with us.
He made the Ultimate Warrior who he was. Yeah. Rick Rude was solely, single-handedly responsible for that.
And then there's the unsung. This is what I'd really like to hear people say: the unsung heroes for the years of the guys that were what you call extras now, what you used to call job guys then. You know what? Those guys took a brutal beating from us. I know that, and they enjoyed it. They enjoyed it and want to come back, and that's for years and years and years. Those guys never got any thank you, and I'm here, so is Animal.
Yeah, hey, I can't really, you can name names to infinity. I just go on to say for guys for about the first 12 years in the business, or 12, 15 years in the business that put us over consistently, without a question and a doubt, are the guys that got us where we are. Yeah. That's pretty much the honest God's truth. And when time comes around again, as some of these guys need to be put over to further their career, we'll do it.
Yeah, and we did do that the last 2 out of the last 3 years of Vince.
We did that.
With the option,
with the
promise that we were going to be rebuilt on our way out, which would not have been a hard thing to do for him. Yeah. He did it out of spite. He lied through his teeth. The man with the silver tongue did it again.
I think the retirement of the Road Warriors, greatest tag team in the history of our business, it'd be a pretty good pay-per-view event.
I was going to say, what do you see?
I see us going out like that. That's where I would like to go out. On a pay-per-view, our last match, whether we go over or not, who cares? As long as we give the fans
a street fight.
As long as we give the fans what they want to see, and we get to do our stuff, and that's where I like to go out. And once we retire, we want to be out.
Oh, we want to appreciate the fans have been in for us there. I know they had a hard couple years in the last year watching what Vince McMahon did to us. But hey, listen, if anybody and any wrestler out there, first of all, we will be the first guys to tell all the young guys come in, what do you mean you're not going to sign that guy's autograph? First of all, that's a compliment. The day that they're not asking for your autograph means you're no good at what you do. And then you'll miss it. But I won't be able, he won't have to be able to say that because we did it. And, and now when we move out of this life into another life, we're going to do good things for other people.
We got to dedicate our success to the fans out there.
Definitely.
The fans have been behind our gimmick for 18 years.
Even when Vince tried to trash us.
And they'll be out behind our gimmick until we retire. Even the last time we were on TV, after all the bullshit we did, we come walking out together, yet still get a standing ovation. We will always respect the people that got us our money. The fans are your bottom dollar. The fans are the ones that pay the bucks to get in the seats. They're the ones that pay your salaries, not Vince McMahon. The fans pay your gate.
Right.
And we'll always respect it.
And you know what
Appreciate
we call
it.
that, don't you? What up?